righty. Okay. All righty. So again, one chair for sitting, and then these other chairs with the backs of the chairs facing inwards in front of you. So the goal here is to create a little bit of a training ground, right? So here's my training ground here that I can work on all these different little skills and stay completely safe. So that's the goal here. Again, just to show you how that's utilized, you move over to one side, you have your hand on the chair, you can do single leg standing exercise, you can do weight shift exercises, and various other things. And then you can switch over on this side and do it on the other side of the body, right? So taking the time to set everything up like so allows you to stay safe and really participate completely in the class. So please set up like this if you can, or set up something similar to this. Have a seat on your chair. Sit to the front edge of your chair. Place your hands on your thighs. So foundational exercise of seated meditation. It's foundational for the mind to be present in the body. It's foundational for giving us time to get the breathing, which then affects the nervous system in a calming direction, in a more fluid and connected direction. So it's foundational for the mind, foundational for the breath and electricity of the body, and then foundational structurally and mechanically, so that I'm able to train what's called central upright, or zhongjang. And so if I have any slouch in the posture, or I'm laying back against the back of the chair, we want to train ourselves away from that. Sit forward on the chair, chest slightly up, chin slightly down. Now we've got our central pillar. And then we practice the breathing. In through the nose, long, smooth, and full. Out through the nose or the mouth. And then when you're ready, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. So do that another 8 or 10 cycles. In through the nose, long and smooth. Out through the mouth, long and smooth. So while we're breathing, the mind and the nervous system and the body are getting better network connection, like the internet, right? And also this movement of breathing, the expansion on the inhale stretches us open, and then the soft compression of the exhale settles and relaxes and melts things. So the body is stiff, and then the breathing practice makes it more pliable, loosens it up in all the directions. Continue that breathing, another 4 breath cycle. Long, smooth, and full, holding full. Long, smooth, and empty. Holding empty. 3 more. And feel, if you can, what's called chunwan, which is soft, sunken, and heavy. So allow a sinking quality down to the ground, through the chair, through the legs. This is a Tai Chi concept or principle of how do we get more stability. It's not by tightening and holding more, the opposite. It's about relaxing and creating more space so that there's a grounding that naturally happens called chunwan. And then there's also what's called chingling, or lightness and nimbleness, right? So if I'm holding my body stiffly, I have neither grounding nor do I have lightness and nimbleness. And that's where a lot of people are stuck, not just Parkinson's folks, human beings in general. We're kind of in a state of stasis, stuck, right? And so the initial foundational practice is this breathing, this calming, this relaxing, because it then unlocks groundedness naturally and nimbleness and buoyancy and lightness, right? So now to improve on that further, slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, arch your spine. You probably run into some stiffness, some residue, some resistance in your body. And then let's go to the opposite position. Slide your hands past your knees, hollow your chest softly back, and drop your head so that you round your spinal column in the flexion direction. So really drop your head completely, like you're looking at your belly button. And then again, back to the first position. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, look to the sky. So we really want to change shape. We want to go to the extension, and then we want to go back to the flexion. Slide your hands forward past your knees, hollow your chest, drop your head, round your back. Let's do that 3 more times with the breath. Inhale as you slide hands, elbows, shoulder blades back, head up, look up, and then exhale as you go to the second position, spinal flexion, rounding, dropping the head, empty the breath. Inhale, slide hands, elbows, shoulder blades back, arching the spine. Exhale as you slide hands forward past the knees, dropping the head, rounding the back. Last time, inhaling, arching, and then settle back to neutral. That's our first Shen Fa, or body mechanism method. So this is how the Tai Chi people think of how to maintain and upkeep the body, is Shen Fa, mechanism methods that clean out what's stuck and tune up the function. So that was one. Second one we start with is left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders, turn the head. So rotational movement. Now come back to the middle, turning back to this center, hands are even, spine is upright, looking straight ahead, and then go the other way. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders, turn the head, and then we come back to center. So let's do that another 4 or so times. Try to loosen up what's stuck, train the function, right? This term function is really important in Chinese medicine and in Taoist practice. So by doing the correct mechanism functions, we upkeep the mechanism. A lot of times people can turn more to the right and less to the left, or vice versa. And so we want to try to even that out. You're twisting one way and then coming back to the middle. And then twisting the other way and back to the middle. Another very important concept is slow and thorough rather than fast and rapid, right? So this slow, thorough, get all the way to the edge, and then come back to middle nice and smooth. Let's do one more each way. Twist. So you're not in a rush. That's a really important part. You're not rushing to do your movements. You're being thorough, right? The quality rather than the quantity, that concept. And here we are back to the middle. Now the third movement lateral, right? We did forward and back, then we did rotational, now we do side to side. We're just kind of loosening up where the body tends to get stuck and asleep. So hang the arms loose. Shift your weight a little bit to your right buttock and then side bend. So this little bowing of the torso. And then back to middle. And then shift the weight a little to the left buttock and bow to your left. Back to the middle. Now what you'll notice as you bow to your right, that this shoulder sort of hangs there a little heavy and it limits our movement. So that's why we do this movement here, this little floating up of the left hand. It's very close to my body. I'm not reaching it way out here. I'm just floating it right next to the chest. So that allows me a little more room to lean, to tip. And then when you come back to middle, dangle your left arm down to neutral. And then let's go the other way. Shift and lean to your left. Again, you can feel this sort of pulling on the position. So float your right wrist up. Now that allows us to tune the mechanism a little more, go a little more to your left side. And then we come back to middle each time, neutral. And then we shift the weight to the right, side bend, float your left wrist. You might even tip so much so that you feel your left foot just kind of like a cloud floats off the ground. And then we come back to center. And then we tip over to your left side, right wrist floating up, foot floats up a little bit. Let's do it one more time each side. Another principle here is that right where I'm pointing on my body, my belly button represents the middle, the place where top and bottom meet, left and right meet. This is this sort of middle pivot. So as you teeter-totter this away, your middle equilibrium is internal and it's maintained. And then we come up and across and tip to your left. And then back to middle. Now, one more thing we do in the upper body here is to make sure we're not holding tight in the shoulders. We do this swimming movement with the arms. So bring your legs together. And then tip a little bit forward, float your hands forward, out, around, tip back a little bit, and come in. So it's this movement of forward, circle, back, circle. So we're just trying to empty out this top heavy. Before we stand up in a moment, we will. We have to loosen up shoulders and arms. So we're doing this circular movement. So that's the first one. Second one, chest level. So we float forward, then come up. Then we go big open. So just opening all that space and function, and then come down. And again, forward. Bring the backs of the hands together, lift up. And importantly, we have all of this room to explore. When we get back here, we don't crank our arms back, but we have them just a little bit behind. So I'm not forcing it back here. It's just right here, comfortable. And then neutral. Do it again. Forward, chest level, and then big open, down. And final variation, full range. We go forward, up to chest level, and then keep going. So you might stop here, you might stop here. Some of you might even be able to get up above, and then big open, big wide open. All the way down, neutral. Twice more like that. Forward, up, to whatever your full range of lift is, and then big open. Down. Let's do that one more time. Forward, up, all the way, big open. All right. Now scoot back on your chair just a little bit so you're very stable on it. Right knee, lift up, flex the foot a little, and draw the leg in. Then from here, push or extend, and then reload that leg where it just was. Reload, and then put the foot down. Other leg. Load, push it all the way straight, reload it, down. Other leg. Loading, pushing, loading, down. Again, load, push, load, down. Let's do one more each leg. Function. The function of loading, extending, loading, down. Now, foot and ankle movements. So straighten your right leg out, point the foot, flex the foot, point, flex, 3 more, point, flex. Remember, thorough is a really important concept. All the way, point, all the way, flex, all the way, point, all the way, flex. Now, tilt the foot a little in, out. It's called inversion and eversion. Usually kind of a weird movement at first, but a really important one. Tilt in and out, in, out. Now, circles, in, point, out, flex. So that creates a circle. In, point, out, flex. In, point, out, flex. Circle. Circle. Reverse. Other way. Out, point, in, flex. Circle. And switch feet. Remember, thorough. Point, flex. Point, flex. A couple more. And these are really good exercises to do throughout the day when you're drinking tea or watching television or something. You just tune your mechanisms. Now tilt in, tilt out. In, out. Tilt, 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 tilt. Circles. In, point, out, flex. Circle. Reverse circle. Out, point, in, flex. Circle. And down. All right, scoot to the front edge of your chair one more time. Now, a really important movement that people don't do enough of is hip and leg rotation, internal and external rotation. Really important for function. So it's just a simple exercise for that. Step a little wider apart than hip distance. Then lift your toes, turning on the heels, turn your knees and toes in. That would be internal rotation. And then lift your toes and turn knees and toes out, external rotation. Do it again. Internal, external, internal, and external. In, external. One more. Back to neutral. Now, from neutral, really important, from this hip space that we were just rotating the legs, that's the same exact junction in the body where we fold, hip hinge. So if you look at my body, I'm folding in half, but I'm very barely rounding my spine, if any, right? So we want to then sit vertical. And this, again, is not spinal joint movements, really. It's pelvis leg junction movement. Same thing here as you tip backwards a little bit. It's not me arching my spine. It's me moving from this hip joint junction. So now sit vertical, fold forward. Sit vertical, hinge back. So we need freedom of movement, thorough range of motion. So not only is this good for you in the sense of stretching the buttocks, stretching the back, keeping it lubricated. If that's all you did, let's say you were someone who was wheelchair bound, if all you did was do this and you weren't going to stand up, this would be valuable to you. This hinging and moving, right? It flushes and pumps. But for us that are going to work on standing and walking, even more important, we slide the feet back a little, hinge at the hips. Now, notice here, my body weight is in the buttocks. I need my body weight to get to the feet. So my first gesture is not up, it's forward. So I've come now out of the chair, forward, and then I'm pushing down through the earth and the body goes up. Now, really important movement when sitting down or folding in half is we don't bend our knees first, we hip hinge. So just look at this shape that I've made and notice that I did not bend my knee. I also did not round my spine. But something happened, and it's really important that you do the correct something. This joint where your legs meet your pelvis, hinge. And then vertical. Just by bringing the hips into correct position, it resets all the alignment in your body. And again, hinge, the hips go back, and then upright. The amount of people I work with that when they stand up, they stop somewhere like this, and then they try to walk around, partially because it's scary to stand vertical, partially because there's back pain and there's other reasons. But it's a really important thing is to be able to get here, to really create this line. Also, we use that to sit down. So, hip hinge. Now, from here, you keep sitting here, you keep deepening here, but the knees will bend in response. So keep sinking and notice your knees are bending, but you're not punching your knees forward. You're sinking your butt. So you can reach back, say, okay, where's my chair? Okay, I got my chair. And now I'm committed to the chair. So to stand up, most of the time when I'm first working with people, they try to just launch upwards. They try to use all this effort, and it's a very dangerous thing to try to do, to push up and then you can fall back. Versus fold, shift the weight forward out of the chair, push through the earth, and rise up tall. You can accomplish this with zero effort, with hydraulics, with softness, with water. Sitting down, same thing. We hinge, fold, get near the chair, reach back. Is my chair there? Okay, calmly, smoothly, elegantly sitting down. And then we do it again, just fold and rise up. So the saying in Tai Chi is the primary direction is down. What that means is you have to either skillfully get down to the ground or you're going to find yourself on the ground. But the ground, the down is the primary. That's the law, right? The ground, gravity. So here, now, don't sit in your chair, but fold and sink down. Don't sit in your chair. Get as low as you can. See if you can dangle your hands down to the ground. Touch the ground or touch your toes, right? And then push through the earth and come all the way back up to standing. So as long as you keep your good root through your feet, you can hinge and fold and get down and touch the ground or pick something up or put something down and then push through the earth and rise back up to standing and bring it up. And so as long as we got a good root, we can do a lot of different things. One more. Pull. And rise. Now the next really important skill. So stand near your right side chair, but have no hands on the chair. So currently you're probably using, and again, make sure you do have a chair to sit in as well as a chair for your hands for safety. That's what I said at the beginning of class, is it's set up like this for a reason. Because if you have to sit down in an emergency, you want to make sure there's a chair there, but you also need something for your hand. So if you don't have that, get that, please, right? This is me doing a disclaimer. Have a chair to sit in and a second chair for your hand, right? So Mary, I'm kind of looking at you. I don't see that you have two chairs, right? Do you have a second one? You have two? Okay, good. I'm just making sure, right? So here we are. We have two legs. When we were doing our squat and stand, we were using both legs to get us to the ground. Now, from your belly button, from your middle, shift the weight so that more of your weight goes into your right leg and your left leg has less. And then shift and put more weight into your left leg and less in your right. Shift. Important thing here is that what I'm not doing is I'm not bending my spine. My spine doesn't even change its shape at all. I just moved my pelvis somewhat over to the left and then over to the right. Second important piece, when you go over to your left leg, stay in it for a moment and make sure you don't lock your knee. Instead, soften the leg. So you see how this leg of mine just went from a locked position to a slightly bent position, but it's still the weight-bearing leg. So this is what we want to do with our legs. We don't want to push and lock. We want to soften and connect and plug into the ground. So go back over to your right leg, same thing. Notice, did you lock it? Instead, soften it, sink into it. Change the weight. So this is your secret Tai Chi when you're standing in line, getting a cup of tea or coffee, or you're waiting at the supermarket. You're just, from your middle, changing, going yin and yang, or full and empty. And then change. And change. This is also very healthy for the pelvic floor, for the lower back. A lot of people talk about back pain. And I'm looking at you, Lana. The tendency for your back pain often comes from this. So Lana will find herself standing like that and then wonder why the low back is in pain, right? But you can see it's sort of obvious that there's congestion, impingement, compression, versus if you can get this, then everything flows through. Nothing gets stuck. So that's another principle in Tai Chi. We don't want anything going to a point. We want it flowing through. So when I'm changing weight, I'm not getting stuck in the leg. It's flowing through the leg down to the ground. Right? So if all you did was just keep doing this, especially if you're at a stoplight and you're waiting for the stoplight and then you're going to have to walk, you don't want to stand locked like this and then try to go. You're shifting, and then when the stoplight comes, you're ready to step and move, right? Let's go to the second exercise here. Put all your weight in your left leg and lift the right heel, get to the tippy toe of the right foot, and then place the heel back down and shift. So if that already made you feel more fear, chances are you still have weight in this leg. So you want to get it to so this leg has no body weight, therefore it can float easily. If you need to put a hand on a chair, do it, right? That's what it's there for. So we shift the weight, then we lift the heel to the tippy toe, put the heel down, then we shift the weight. Tippy toe and down. Shift. So that's exercise one. Exercise two, hand on the chair. Tippy toe, disconnect that empty foot from the ground. So lift it a little, place the whole foot down with no weight, and then go shift. Again, hand on chair for safety. Go tippy toe, lift, lower, shift. Some of you might feel, hey, that's kind of easy. So you could try no hands. You go tippy toe, lift, down, shift. So each of these exercises has different phases in it of challenge. Shift, tippy toe, lift, down, shift. Now, hand on chair, we go tippy toe, lift, and go all the way up, all the way down. Change the weight. Other leg, all the way up, all the way down. Change. If you train these fundamentals with the legs that we're working on right now, all the different fancy walking becomes more available because you have this primary skill of separating full, empty, while being upright in a relaxed way. So people think to get better at walking, I need to walk 1,000 steps or 1,000,000 steps or 1,000,000 miles. But it really is about the fundamentals of the car, right? Of the vehicle. If your axle and your wheels are off and all that stuff's off, the more miles you walk wrong, the worse it is for your car. So here we want to not walk 1,000,000 miles. We want to tune up the skill. Tune up the skill. And done. So that's that first set of exercises, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, next exercise, I'm going to turn to a slight angle so you can see depth of my movement, but you just keep facing straight ahead, okay? Shift all your weight to your left leg, empty right foot, put it out in front of you. Heel touching. So this is empty, full, empty. Primary direction is down. Down through that right leg moves you forward. Down through your back leg moves you back. So don't lean forward, don't lurch forward, don't tip forward. Just relax down through that leg. You move forward, relax down through the leg, you move back. Forward by going down, back. Second exercise in this series, hand on the chair, disconnect the foot, reconnect the heel to the ground, shift. Then this back leg, bend the knee like a little flamingo. Touch the toe back behind you, shift. So the weight going down, chunwan, like I talked about at the beginning, then buoyancy, qingling. So if I get the weight down out through one, then this is a free leg with no disturbance to the balance. And then primary direction down, get it out through the body. And then this one being empty, oh, I can lift it, I can move it, it's got function. And then we change again. From the middle, left leg, your left leg full, right leg empty. Just a little test saying how empty is it. And then change. So most people are what they call double weighted, meaning stuck in both legs. They haven't separated them so they can go full, empty, and then yin to yang, change, full, empty. Now go back, level 3 of this exercise, hand on chair, all the way up, all the way down. Shift. And then this back leg, forward and up, all the way back. Shift. The weight out of the body, again, hand on chair. Some of you might play with no hand someday. Again, be careful. Shift. Back leg, forward and up, back. Shift. The weight down allows up. The weight down allows up. So that was levels 1, 2, and 3 of this exercise. Let's do levels 1, 2, and 3 on the other side. So now you're over on the other side chair. Put all your weight in your right leg now with your left foot as the lead foot or front foot. And then we shift, shift, Remember that you might see me going forward and backwards, but really what needs to be happening is down, down. Because the ground is important. If I get too caught up in leaning forward, then I'm over my skis, then I'm in trouble. But just down, down. This is level 1. Level 2, hand on the chair so you can safely lift, put the heel down, shift. The weight going down your left leg, bend that right knee, that back leg knee, little flamingo. Put the toe down, shift. The weight going down allows this, shift. Central pillar, basically floating. So we're not grabbing onto our body, which is what we normally do when we're afraid, when we think we're going to fall. We grab on more. Sadly, that makes us just less grounded and more clumsy and sort of heavy. And so we have to train this looseness if we want to experience what Tai Chi has to offer. Hand on the chair, lift, heel down, shift. Now this back leg comes forward and up, reach the toe back, shift. The weight going down allows lifting and lowering. And then shift, the weight going down allows this lift and return. Shift, middle pivot, right? Changing yin to yang in the legs. And switch back to our first side. Set up as if we're going to do the same exercise. So put all the weight in your left leg, put your right foot up. Now we take it one step further, no pun intended. Shift, step, shift. And then it's shift, step, shift. This is level 1. Shift, step, shift, shift, step, shift. The mountain and the cloud. So right now, mountain, cloud. Then we shift. Now this one's the mountain, this one's the cloud. The cloud foot can safely step. But then I now make this one the mountain and this one the cloud. Right? So it's this yin to yang, yang to yin, changing that Tai Chi is trying to get us to understand. So we're not in one state, stuck. We're yin and yang and yin, empty, full, full, empty, forward, back, back, forward. So it's that brings life force, cultivates life force, right? Tai Chi literally means yin and yang, like the duality of changing. And so that's what we're doing here. One is full, the other empty. Step the empty. Now make that empty back to full. And then full to empty. Step the empty back to empty, full. Right? And then the constant is this middle pivot point around which the yin and yang is changing. Place your hand on the chair. Now we go lift and lower. Shift, and we add the challenge of step over an obstacle. So you take your empty cloud foot, float it over, and step, and then shift. And then this back leg, do a little flamingo just to test, is it really a cloud? And then turn the cloud into a mountain. The mountain now is a cloud, so it can lift and float, reach back. And then shift, turn your cloud back into a mountain so that you can float this one as a cloud. And then change, mountain, step the cloud, and shift. If you try to lift a foot while it's still got some mountain in it, some weight in it, that's where we have to tense up and it becomes clumsy. But if you really empty it, then you can lift and lower with no problem. So if I kept weight in this leg, I'd have to yank on it and do something clumsy. But if I've truly emptied it, it's just floats, light as a feather. Shift, lift, lower, shift, step over, shift, flamingo, float, tuck, reach, shift. Now, make sure the hands on the chair, we go full range, lift, lower, shift, and then full range of this back leg, heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower the leg to touch the ground. One second, I'm off screen, sorry. And shift. And then your back leg, bring it up, and then reach it back, and shift. So I've got my mountain, my cloud, I can float the cloud. It's still a cloud when I reach back because this is still the mountain. Then shift. So we're going lift, lower. Now this becomes the mountain. This is the cloud. Cloud foot can step and move. And now this is the mountain. This is the cloud. Shift. One more. And eventually it can all happen very swift. It can be smooth. It can have pop to it if you slow down enough and clean out the junk that's in the way of correct movement. Which again, that's the practice of Qigong, Tai Chi. Now, other side, let's do level 1. Put all the weight in your right leg, left foot in front. We go very simple. Shift, step, shift. And then shift, step, shift. So it's just walking. This one's the most just like casual walking. It's just shift, step, shift. Mountain, cloud, steps, then the cloud becomes a mountain. So this is a cloud. And then the cloud becomes a mountain, mountain to cloud, cloud, mountain, cloud. The more you relax, the more it happens instantly. So you can go shift, step, shift. And it went mountain, cloud, cloud, mountain, back and forth. Empty, full, full, empty, right? Bada bing, right? Quick, but slow down enough so you actually go, okay, I got it. I get it. Level 2. Hand on chair so you can float. Put it down. Shift. Now step over an obstacle with this empty foot. And then shift. And then like a little flamingo. Shift. Empty foot. Keep it empty not only just to here, but also when you reach it back. Keep it empty. Weight is still here. Then shift. And we're going lift, lower, shift. Empty foot floats up, has all this freedom, and then shift. Flamingo, down, shift. Up, tuck, reach, shift. Float, down, shift. You could imagine, perhaps, that there's a saying in Tai Chi, top empty, bottom full, and eventually bottom also empty. But this idea that any kind of action and tension up here, maybe you can start to see how that would actually make me top heavy. So if I go to lift this foot up and I grab on with my upper body, well, now I've just made a big, heavy weighted quality that could tip over. So instead, work on this loose and empty quality in the top. A softness, almost like it's collapsed, almost like it's empty, like an empty balloon, right? Almost like that. So we're not really trying hard. Instead, we're going, let me relax. And then that allows a buoyancy in the upper body. So the third exercise here of lift, lower, shift, heel, knee, foot, down, shift, So again, this softness up top, even when I go to lift this here. So I don't want to go, oh, I'm really lifting high. No, very relaxed, even though this is coming all the way up. And then back. Same thing here. Relaxing while taking that big old step. Because it's just such a common reaction to go, oh, we're lifting the leg high and doing all this extra instead of just relax. Just relax. Full range. And then all this is loose and free and easy, which is where some of the other fancier Tai Chi stuff comes from. It's just that empty, relaxed, and loose. Right? Okay. Now, come all the way to the far left of your space. Turn and look downrange. So the important thing here is you're creating a runway for yourself, a big runway out in front. Now, go from standing in both of your legs to just using one. So shift your weight into your right leg. That's your mountain. Float your cloud foot in front, heel touching. And then primary direction is down. So now you go down through that leg. Now that's your mountain. Notice you moved forward, but you're not leaning forward or tipping forward ideally. You're just hanging out. Now your back foot is a cloud, so step it. Still a cloud. Now down through that leg, your body moved forward. This is the mountain. This is the cloud. Step the cloud foot. Keep it a cloud. And then down through that leg. Step the foot, it's still empty, and then down through it. Step the foot, it's still empty, down through. Step the foot while it's still empty, down through. Now the reverse, down through there. Your front foot is the cloud, just float the cloud behind you, still with no body weight touching the earth, and then down. That moved me backwards, right? Going down. Step. Down. Step. Down. Step. Down. Step. Again. Down. Step. Down. So as you get good at that first variation where we really slowed it down, then you can flow. Then it starts to feel like we're just walking. Down, step behind, down, step behind, down, step behind, down. But make sure you're actually noticing mountain, cloud, switch. So it's sturdy, other one buoyant, and then that buoyant one becomes sturdy before I even think of stepping, and then now I make this one sturdy, and then this one sturdy, and then this one. Be able to notice full and empty, empty and full. Back, same thing. I don't even think about stepping until I've actually emptied it, because then it steps with so little effort required. It's just so easy. And then I wait until this is actually full before I step, and then actually full before I step. Now, let's see if you can do that. Cover more ground in fewer steps. So at first we were doing very small, right? If you can do that and get down through the leg, then you take a bigger step and get down to the ground. Take a bigger step and get down to the ground. And that brings you forward. So I just covered in 2 steps what I took 5 steps to do before. Big step, boom. And then back. Big step, big step, big step, big step. So ideally what you notice is that you don't work harder to cover more ground, aka go faster. Especially with Parkinson's, when people try to go faster by working harder, it's ironic, I guess you could say, that all of a sudden it starts to get shorter and shorter and shorter, and then they're exhausted and the back hurts and all. Versus if they just slow down, if you just slow down and go, okay, boom. Boom. You get to the phone in time. You get to the bathroom in time. You get to the tea kettle. You get wherever you're going. Back. So you got to slow down and then get better at using the vehicle. So try to cover more ground in fewer steps. All right. And so today we're not going to do any side to side or rotational walking. We're just working on forward and back. So we're going to go to another challenge of this forward and back. So I want you to watch me, see what I do here. Just watch, okay? So the first exercises we were doing were, you could call them passive, right? I was just relaxing, relaxing, nice casual walking. But if you've ever taken boxing or you've ever, really any sport has a sort of sliding movement or a ballistic movement. So just watch what I do here. So put all the weight in this left leg. Right foot is empty. Now, instead of just shifting into it, what I do is push off of this. I sort of launch, almost like jumping, let's say. Push. And then notice how I brought this back foot forward, and it's empty. And you got the chair here, and then you push and come back. So it's like a ballistic step. It's an active, athletic step. Now, why it's important for us to do it is because it basically trains the pop in the legs. So our legs need to have a springiness, a pop to them. And so this is the exercise to help with that, okay? So make sure you've got yourself behind the chair. This chair is in front of you, and you have the length of the back of the chair to cover. Put all your weight in your left foot, right foot in front empty, and then do this little push off advance. And then retreating. So now this leg is the ballistic leg. It's got the power, push off, and retreat. Make sure your hand is ready to use the chair, because falling is a no-no. We don't want that, but we do want to challenge ourselves a little bit. So we got this leg loaded, push and advance. And then push and retreat. Push and advance. So it's like a sudden movement forward and then a sudden movement back. But the important piece is the primary direction is still down. So I'm going suddenly forward, but really it's down through the leg. And then suddenly back, but it's down. Advance. Retreat. Advance. Important piece is let this foot you just jumped off of, let it drag forward, but not take any body weight. And then same thing here. When you retreat, let this foot drag back. Advance. Retreat. Advance. Retreat. Now let's switch. Put the weight in your left leg, side step, or right leg. Now get over near this chair. Make sure this chair is in front of you, off to the left. Put all your weight in your right leg, your left foot empty, and then advance, retreat. Advance, retreat. So when we're doing this, it's always your left leg is the advancing leg, and this back right leg is always the retreat leg. Advance, retreat. Advance, retreat. Down, down. Down, but I moved forward. Down, but I moved back. One more. Down, down. All right. Great job today, everybody. Let's just finish with a very brief self-massage, just to take anywhere that the chi or the muscle or the nerves get sort of bundled and bunched, and we get them back to flowing through. So take your hands together, rub your palms, Rub the back of one hand, palms, back of other hand, palm. All right, and then you go to what's called your quad or your groin area on either side. Hands there and up and down. So this is a common area for bunching up and tension. So we just want to let it be through and fluid. Then go to your front hip flexors right at the front of the hips. And then come around to your tail. From your tail up onto your lower back and side lower back muscles. And then remember the squat that we did earlier. So you stick your butt back a little, sit the buttocks, sweep the hands down the outside back side of the legs, around to the inside front side, and then standing up, hands to the belly button. Let's do that series twice more. So it's the groin area, known as the quad, the hip flexors, fronts of the hips, around to the tailbone, lower back, and then you do that squat where your hands go down the outside, around the ankles to the inside, come up the inside, everything leading to your middle reservoir in the belly. One more time. Groin, hip flexors, tail, lower back, and clearing the yang channel and the yin channels to the navel. And then lastly, the yang channels of the arms, the outer channels, and then turn the arm, the inner channels off. Same arm, repeat. Outer, turn, inner and off. Outer, off. Repeat on the other side. Outer, turn, inner and off. Outer, off. Outer, off. And then we close the whole practice. Wing, roll, fold, settle down right to this middle reservoir. Mind settling there, all the chi of the body settling here. And then seal the practice, one hand over the belly, other hand over. And then this hand position to finish, grab your thumb, fold the hands over. There, it creates a little yin-yang looking symbol. Thank you so much, everybody. Great job today. If there are any questions, please feel free to unmute. Any questions or comments or anything? Just another reminder here next Monday and next Friday. But I'm going to do this Friday, so I'll see you on Friday. And then I'm going for one more week, and then I'm back. Okay? Thank you. Hi, Renee. Good to see you. Hi, Mary. Giddy.